How is it going? I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for tuning in this video. Today I'm here with my 10th installment of my WCW nWo 1998 pay-per-view rewind. Today I'm here with my review of their October pay-per-view, which was Halloween Havoc. Without wasting any more time, go and jump right into things. The show opened up with the WCW World Television Championship being defended. An unadvertised, unscheduled match, might I say, because Raven cut a promo saying how he's not going to wrestle because this match was unadvertised, and he pretty much has no reason to. Jericho gets him to get, pretty much, he riles him up to the point where he wants to fight. So the match happens. Jericho beats down Raven. They have a brawl, and this is a good opening match. It's a fast-paced match, which is different. Usually Raven's matches are pretty slow, and not as fast-paced as this match, usually typically is. So it was a nice change in pace for him. Him and Jericho had some nice exchanges, some nice near falls as well. Jericho got the victory once he locked in the Lion Tamer when Raven went for the even flow DDT. Jericho countered it into the Lion Tamer submission victory. A short match though, even though it was really good. It was a sprint, but it was short. So a good way to kick off the pay-per-view. From there, we're going to go to Meng taking on Wrath. Just a pretty shitty big man match. The only thing that was really worth even watching was the pop that Wrath got when he lifted up Meng for his finish and hit the win. So that was the only cool moment, I guess, in the match. Besides that, yeah, nothing worth paying attention to. Juventud and Guerrera taking on Disco Inferno, where the winner would face Kidman for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship later on in the show. I thought this was a pretty solid match overall. I thought Disco and Juventud had a pretty good chemistry going back and forth. Disco was doing his usual, Disco stuff, but Juventud was got some great near falls in Disco, and I thought towards the end of the match they had some really good exchanges as well. Disco was able to end up getting the win with the pile driver on Juventud to get the 1-2-3 to become the #1 contender. So good solid match nonetheless between Disco and Juventud. Finlay taking on Wright. Talk about a random fucking match. This was good. It really felt like a SmackDown match from Finlay, because Finlay, he looked good and carried his opponent, and that was pretty much it. But the match was just whatever. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Wright got the win surprisingly after he threw Finlay into the exposed turnbuckle, hit a neck breaker, pinned Finlay. Very surprised to see Wright get the win over Finlay, but for what it was fine. Finlay made him look good, so it was what it was. Saturn taking on Lodi. Why? I don't know. Lodi was more concerned about his sign taken away than anything else. Squash match. Saturn gets the win with the DVD. I don't even know why this was even happening, at least on this show. This was like a Thunder match, if anything. Don't know why it was on this pay-per-view. WCW Cruiserweight Championship match. Kidman defending against Disco Inferno. Disco Inferno out for his second match of the night. And overall, I thought him and Kidman had another good match. Another good match with Disco Inferno. It was good. The crowd's into it. It started off pretty slow, but, once the action started kicking in, towards the middle of the match, it started getting faster paced. The crowd started getting into it. You had some exciting moments from Kidman and Disco. They had some exciting spots as well. And then, Kidman got the victory after he set up the shooting star, and he hit the shooting star to get the win. So, fun match, good performance from Disco Inferno. He definitely had a good showing on this show, so good stuff. And then we go to the World Tag Team Championship match. The Giant Scott Steiner taking on Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell. Of course, stipulation was that if Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell got the win, that Rick Steiner would get a match with Scott Steiner immediately following. This match was just Giant and Scott Steiner working on Rick Steiner. Halfway through the match, Buff Bagwell turned on Rick Steiner, so it became a handicap match. Giant got the tag. Scott Steiner held Rick Steiner. Giant went for a missile dropkick, but took an hour to get on top. Couldn't get his balance. Goes for it. Steiner moves, Rick Steiner moves, ends up hitting the dropkick on Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's taken out. Rick Steiner hit the Bulldog and the Giant, 1-2-3. Rick Steiner wins the tag team titles, even though his partner turned on him and left him halfway through the match, yet he still wins the titles with him, so makes sense. I know obviously the next night at Nitro he'd pick a new partner, but still, just the fact that you had a guy win the tag team titles when his partner turned on him during the match just doesn't make any sense to me ever. So, but because Rick Steiner won, he got his match with his brother Scott Steiner, so we immediately jumped into that no DQ match, and it was pretty much on par with their fall brawl. Not a whole lot going on. Scott Steiner relying on the low blow. At one point, Buff Bagwell came back out, but in costume, even though he revealed himself still, it made no sense for him being in costume. It was fucking stupid. Just added to the nonsense of WCW's booking at the time. Rick Steiner got the comeback, took out Buff Bagwell, hit the Bulldog on Scott Steiner, won the match. So, I mean, it was cool to see Rick Steiner finally get his revenge on Scott, but I don't know, it shouldn't have took 8 months. Scott Steiner turned on him back at Super Brawl, which was back in February. This is the October pay-per-view, 8 months in the making, and it took him 8 months to get his revenge. Just, I don't know, it took way too long, but it was cool, I guess, for Rick to finally get his revenge, but yeah, it was what it was. Kevin Nash versus Scott Hall. Immediately, Kevin Nash is attacked by Scott Hall. Scott Hall has upper hand on Kevin Nash, works on him. Kevin Nash doesn't want to fight Scott Hall, but then Kevin Nash comes back, beats down Scott Hall, beats the shit out of him for a good while. Jackknife number 1, hits a jackknife number 2. Doesn't go for the pin, though, and says fuck it and just walks out because all he wanted to do is beat the sense into Scott Hall. He didn't want to beat him. He just wanted to beat the sense into him. So Kevin Nash walks out. Referee counts to 10. So Scott Hall wins the match by countout, even though Kevin Nash kicked his ass. But like I said, the purpose of it was for Kevin Nash to knock some sense into him, not to beat him. So, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't a bad match or anything. It was, one of the better things in the show. Not one of the better things, but it was watchable. I'll say that. It was watchable. So, yeah, not a whole lot to it. WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Bret Hitman Hart defending against Sting. This was a, solid match for what it was. It was Bret in WCW, so you can't really expect anything great. He was playing the heel role, working on Sting throughout the entire match, just working and working and working. Referee gets taken out when Sting accidentally elbows him because he thought Bret was behind him, but takes out the ref. Bret, gives an elbow or leg drop to the ref to make sure he stays out. Sting and Bret are going at it. Sting has a comeback at Stinger Splash. Bret gets Sting's bat when Sting's locked onto the ropes, beats him with the bat a few times, hits him with it, beats down Sting, wakes the ref back up just in time for him to lock in the sharpshooter, and referee sees that Sting's no longer able to compete and rings to the bell. So Bret retains the championship. Sting versus Bret, you think on paper sounds great, but really wasn't. But it was fine though. It was a solid match for what it was, just nothing great that you would hope it'd be. And then we go to the grand old match. That was the rematch of WrestleMania 6. Hollywood Hogan taking on the Warrior. 8 years in the making. What a shit garbage show this match was. This arguably was the worst match of all time next to Brock and Goldberg from WrestleMania 20. This was just terrible. I don't need to explain how terrible it was. Don't watch this match. Avoid it. Obviously, it's known for the fucked up finish where Hogan tries to blind Warrior, but the fire doesn't spark, and it's a fuckery finish. Hogan gets his win back. That's all you need to know. Terrible match, not worth even paying attention to. Warriors run WCW is it's laughable. Just like WCW this time was anyways, but yeah, not worth really going in depth into. Just like I said, terrible match and arguably the worst match of all time. And then we go to the main event, which I'm surprised this match main evented, but it kind of did main event though, because if you watch this on pay-per-view when it happened, this show went overtime. It went over the 3-hour period, so Hogan and Warrior, technically on pay-per-view, was the main event because before Goldberg and Diamond Dallas Page started, the pay-per-view feed cut. So, typical WCW, they can't manage their fucking time properly and gets the main event cut. So, great going, WCW. So, even though Hogan and Warrior didn't main event the pay-per-view, they still main evented somehow. But yeah, we go to the main event, which was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg defending against DDP. Holy fuck. Something I never thought would happen. Well, at least during this time period. WCW had a great main event. Goldberg, DDP, fantastic. Goldberg's best match of all time, without a doubt. Him and DDP went out there and just had a really good back and forth match. DDP sold his ass off for Goldberg. Goldberg looked great. He wasn't fucking eating his shit up. He looked fantastic. DDP, like I said, made him look like $1 million selling his ass off. They had a great brawl. They brawled through the ropes into the outside. They were just beating the shit out of each other for 10 minutes straight. Some great near falls. The crowd was into it, especially when DDP was going for the diamond cutter, and then Goldberg just a huge spray out of nowhere on him, and then Goldberg goes for the jackhammer, and then Diamond Dallas Page counters it into a diamond cutter because Goldberg went for a spear earlier, and DDP got out of the way, and Goldberg speared himself into the post, so his shoulder was hurt, couldn't lift him up for the jackhammer, so DDP hit the diamond cutter for a near fall, goes for a suplex, then Goldberg counters the suplex into a jackhammer, hits it on DDP. 1, 2, 3, Goldberg retains the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Man, oh man, what a match. This was awesome. If there's one thing worth watching on this show, it's this fucking match. Great main event to close what I would say was a decent show overall. At least compared to the last few WCW pay-per-views I've been watching, this is a huge step up from the previous ones. So, by WCW standards, this was a great show. By WCW 1998 standards. But by, just regular standards, it was a decent show. It had its moments. It had a handful of good matches. The main event was great. So there really wasn't a whole lot of bad in this show. So that's why, to me, it was just a decent show. It wasn't on the level of good just yet, but you know, it was borderline good. You know, decent pay-per-view, like I said, overall. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. Only 2 more pay-per-views left in this series. Of course, World War III and Starrcade. Those are the final pay-per-views of this 1998 pay-per-view rewind for WCW. So stay tuned for those videos. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching the video.